Hello everyone, welcome to Visions Anatomy. Today we'll be learning about mandible and its features. Mandible, it is derived from the Latin word mandibula, which means jawbone, and the word mandare, which means to chew. So this is the bone which forms the lower jaw of the skull and also helps in chewing. It is an unpaired bone. This is the largest as well as the strongest bone of the skull. And this is the only movable bone in the skull. It is a cortical type of bone. Cortical type means on the outer aspect as well as the inner aspect, it is made up of compact bone. In between, it is made up of spongy bone. Whereas in the case of mandible, the area where the teeth are embedded, it is made up of spongy bone, and the spongy area is sandwiched by the compact bone on external as well as the internal aspect. And more or less, the shape of the bone is horseshoe shaped. Basically, the mandible has two parts, a body and pair of vertically placed ramus. In the body, it is almost U or V in shape. It has two surfaces. Surfaces means the broad area, we call it as surface. It has external surface which is seen from outside and internal surface which is seen from the inner aspect. And it has two borders. Borders means the line or the limitation of the surface is called as borders. Here it has two borders. The upper border where we can see the presence of teeth or the sockets for the tooth. So it is also called as alveolar border. The lower border, it is also called as base of the mandible. In the body, the features seen in the external surface are just below the incisor teeth, a small shallow depression is seen called as incisive fossa. Just below the incisive fossa, the area is called as symphysis menti. Symphysis means joint, menti means mental region or the chin region. So it is a joint present in the chin region. Even though the mandible is an unpaired bone, it develops as two halves embryologically. The right and left halves meet at the midpoint and fuses at the point. The point of fusion is called as symphysis menti. Usually the fusion occurs 2 years after birth. Just below the symphysis menti is a triangular elevation called as mental protuberance. It is a characteristic feature of a human mandible, whereas in primate animal mandibles or apes or chimpanzees, this feature will be absent. Lateral to the mental protuberance on either side is a small another elevation called as mental tubercle, and laterally we can able to see an opening called as mental foramen, and still more laterally is a line which extends from the ramus of the mandible to the mental foramen, that is called as external oblique line. And on the internal surface, the features are just behind the symphysis menti, we can able to see small spine-like projections. 4 spine-like projections, 2 above and 2 below. That is called as genial tubercles or mental spine. So we call it as superior genial tubercle and inferior genial tubercle. And still more laterally, we can able to see a linear elevation which is obliquely placed called as mylohyoid line. Just below the mylohyoid line, we can able to see a large shallow depression where the submandibular gland is lodged. So that is called as submandibular fossa. Above and anterior to the mylohyoid line, we can able to see another shallow depression where the sublingual gland is lodged called as sublingual fossa. The upper border, it is also called as alveolar border because it has the presence of teeth or the sockets for the tooth. And the lower border is called as the base of the mandible. Just below the mental protuberance, we can able to see small oval shaped fossa called as digastric fossa. The ramus is paired and it has two surfaces. Since it is a paired one, the surfaces will be the medial surface and lateral surface. And it has two projections called as processes. One is short and round process called condylar process. The other one is flat and sharp process called as the coronoid process. And it has 4 borders. One is the superior border between the two processes, the inferior border, anterior border and the posterior border. In the condylar process, the upper portion is expanded and forms the head of the mandible. This is the portion which forms the joint with the skull. And anterior aspect of this coronoid process has a small depression where the lateral pterygoid muscle is inserted. So this area is called as pterygoid fovea. And these together forms the condylar process, and just below the condylar process is the small constricted area called as the neck of the mandible. The ramus has lateral surface where it is just rough for the attachment of muscles, whereas in the medial surface we can able to see a foramen that is called as mandibular foramen, which extends downwards as the mandibular canal and comes out, exits at the mental foramen. So the mandibular canal is a passage which is present inside the bone and it exits at the mental foramen. Near the mandibular foramen, we can able to see a tongue-like projection called as lingula. Just below the mandibular foramen is a linear groove called mylohyoid groove. Just below the mylohyoid groove is a roughened area for the attachment of medial pterygoid muscle. The borders in the ramus between the condylar process and the coronoid process is a very deep notch or deep border called as the superior border. It is also called as mandibular notch, also called as sigmoid notch. It is also called as mesentric notch because the mesentric nerves and vessels crosses this border to supply the muscle. The inferior border, it is continued with the base of the mandible. The anterior border, it is continued from the coronoid process and downwards it is continued with the external oblique line. The posterior border, it is continued from the head of the mandible, it passes downwards and it continues with the inferior border. The point where the posterior border and the inferior border meets, it is called as angle of mandible, anatomical angle of mandible. We can see the summary of today's portion. So basically mandible has two parts, body and pair of ramus. The body has external surface, internal surface, upper border or the alveolar border, lower border or the base of the mandible. And on the external surface in the body, we can able to see incisor fossa, below that is symphysis menti and below that is mental protuberance. Lateral to mental protuberance is mental tubercle and lateral to that is mental foramen and lateral most is external oblique line. In the body, on the internal surface, we can see superior and inferior genial tubercles, mylohyoid line, submandibular fossa and sublingual fossa. In the ramus has two surfaces, lateral surface and medial surface. It has two processes, condylar process and coronoid process, pterygoid fovea and neck of the mandible. On the medial surface, we can able to see the mandibular foramen which continues inside as the bony tunnel called mandibular canal which exits at mental foramen. And we can able to see tongue-like projection called lingula. And the groove below the mandibular foramen is mylohyoid groove and below the groove is the area for the attachment of medial pterygoid muscle. And we can able to see the borders as superior border or mesentric border or mandibular notch or also called as sigmoid notch. And anterior border, posterior border and inferior border and the anatomical angle of mandible. If you find the video useful, share it with your friends and subscribe the channel to know the updates of the upcoming videos. If you have any doubts or clarifications, inform me in the comment box so that I can clarify your doubts. Personal online classes and coaching are undertaken. The students, those who are interested, can contact me through the Gmail ID that is given below. I'll meet you in the next video. Bye-bye.